dismissed every accomplishment I've made. You've talked about my father. Well, you call me an entitled millennial, I call you a carny succubus, because the dirty secret about you, the dirty secret is you need this generation more than it needs
What
you.
up, y'all? It's KMB, the Sexy Ninja, in the place to be for a Paper Saber universe, and we're talking about Fyter Fest 2025 in Denver, Colorado. 4 freaking hours of AEW for us sickos. Ian, Taz, Excalibur on commentary, and we're in this Mission Ballroom. Man, I love these small settings. I know it's not great for business for them to do smaller arenas and smaller areas, and now a ballroom. I just love it. It's just more intimate, and as being a pro wrestling fan and whatnot. And this is why we come here for the crazy shenanigans that is All Elite Wrestling. We started off with Tony backstage. She's got a match tonight. It sets off the tone. I'm like, all right, there's my girl. Tony has a match tonight. She's going to team up with Mina versus Julia and Sky. I'm all for it. Then we have Will Ospreay coming out. You know, he tells Moxley to piss off. And a lot of things that people commented on. I guess he looked at the camera and goes, the reason why this place sucks, bruv, is because you're the world champion. I didn't know AEW sucks. Why are you saying AEW sucks? Well, there's certain aspects that are not great, but why would you say that? But of course, Leo, and then they sets up a match for later on. And what's funny about this show, especially it being 4 freaking hours, is they do the majority of what was promoted by the 2-hour mark. Because what they did was it's Dynamite for the 2 hours, then Collision for the next 2 hours, but overall it's Fyter Fest. So I kind of laughed at that because, literally everything that was pretty much advertised, besides the other little things here and there, was we got to that was it. That was the end of Dynamite. I was like, oh, well, you got 2 more hours to go here, but let's get into it. Got a Mark promo because he's going to take on Mox. And Mark Briscoe's the one that got bloody this time. I was very surprised by that. I was like, oh, all right. You get all bloody, Mark. Bloody, bloody, bloody. But, of course, you got Yuta, you got Marina. And Mox gets the win. And I told my wife, I was like, I hate the choke out thing that Mox does. I really do. It was a fun match for what it was. But, man, I just hate that finish so much with him. The bulldog choke or whatever. But Mark Briscoe put up a fight. And he lost again. We get a Mystico package. Then we go to Tony, Mina versus Julia and Sky. This was fun. Mercedes Moné was ringside eating steak. Not really eating, just there. But Tony and Mina got the win over Julia and Sky. Tony steals Mercedes Moné's steak because building up to All In Texas, this card is looking great. That's all I'm saying. This card is looking fantastic. But Tony takes a bite of Moné's steak and just says, it's mine now. Then we get Lexi with Will and MJF and MVP and Bobby and Shelton. You know, a lot of tension going on here. Then we finally get MJF and the Hurt Syndicate. MJF wants his belt. He's calling out Mystico and everything. It's just a big, no, was he calling out Mystico? I'm trying to think. When did it hurt? Yeah, Mystico, Speedball, and Knight, and everything like that. The Hurt Syndicate's here. Then Mystico, Speedball, and Knight come out to face LFI. Well, no. Sorry. Change that. Commander, Speedball, and Knight versus LFI. Sorry, Mystico will scratch you out. But this was a fun match. What do you expect, man? If you mess with the bull, you get the horns. But Commander and Speedball and Knight got the win. But the Hurt Syndicate did return, and it ended up in a big old fight. Max Caster and Hobbs, the clock countdown thing is fucking stupid. I don't like it. But Hobbs got the win. We go into the International Championship. Kenny versus Dorada versus Claudio versus Brody. And, man, talk about awesome. A fight. I gotta say, this is my match of the night. Kenny retains, and here comes Okada. We've been teasing, and finally, announced a little bit later on, but we're going to have Okada versus Kenny Omega at All In, title for title. So we'll make it the Intercontinental Championship instead of the Intercontinental title and the Continental title. We're going to have it the Intercontinental title, together. But this right here was the end of Dynamite. Yeah, and I was like, wow, we still got 2 hours to go. We got a Ricochet with his ha-ha. Then we have Will Ospreay versus Leo. This was fine. Tack after, of course, and Hangman comes out. Here comes the Mox cult, Hangman cuts a promo. He's very passionate. He wants to take out Moxley. He's the one. Oh, Will won the match, by the way. But we're talking about Hangman. Come on, keep up. Hangman is passionate. He wants to win the championship back. So, but here comes the Mox cult. And here comes Will, and they chase off Moxley and everything like that. So, Hangman, we're looking to you to finally save us. Save us, Hangman, from this goddamn freaking Mox cult shenanigans bullshit. Lexi, who's she with? Oh, Don Callis fam. They get Hechicero, who's going to join them later on tonight. Summer blockbusters next week, so another 4-hour AEW show, July 12th, all Texas, but summer blockbuster. We had Fyter Fest 2025, now we have summer blockbuster next week, and it'll be 4 hours as well. FTR versus Atlantis Jr. and Templario. It was fine for what it was. FTR got the win. They cut a promo after, and I'm like, just go away. So where are we at? Okay, Takeshita, Hechicero, Kyle Fletcher versus the Outrunners or Los Outrunners and Bandito. Awesome fight. I really, really enjoyed this, and I love the fact that the Los Outrunners had lucha masks on, pink ones too, and I was like, I need that. I need that in my life. I do love me some good Outrunners. Then we get Megan. She has Anna Jay, and of course Penelope's there, and Tay Mio. I know she's Sammy's wife, right? Tay Mio, right? I don't know. She came out. I was like, oh. You! Yeah! But she's starting a fight with Megan Bain. Lexi's with Anthony. And then we have Ricochet, who's going to be on commentary for this big match right here. Holy shit. For the Ring of Honor TV Championship. Sammy versus Nick Wayne versus AR Fox. AR Fox. AR Fart. AR Fox versus Lee Johnson. Talk about craziness, man. But Nick retains, and there's still this tease of freaking Christian holding on to that title, but he gives it to Nick. Then we have Tekla in a squash. And I hate saying that because it's Lady Frost, and I do love me some Lady Frost. But I got to see Tekla, and what's the big deal about this toxic spider? And she's okay. I'm really interested in her match next week because she attacks Lady Frost after. Queen Aminata comes out, for the save, and I was like, Queen Aminata, and she lays down a challenge for her later on, cuts a promo and says, hey, I want to fight you. Then we have the announcement of the winner takes all, Kenny versus Okada, and next week is a contract signing at Summer Blockbuster. They also announced Will and Swerve 2. Man, that's looking like a great card. And All In, I was just like, All In, we got Tony Storm versus Mercedes Moné. We have Hangman versus Moxley. We have Okada versus Kenny. Sign me up. Take my money, god damn it. Then we go into our main event. Don Callis family with Daddy and Daddy Magic. Don Callis on commentary versus the Paragon and Daniel Garcia. Talk about a back-and-forth battle, but the Paragon and Daniel Garcia get the win, and Daniel Garcia shakes his hips at Don, and Don's like, you dirty bastard! But there we go. Ooh, that was a mouthful. That is Fyter Fest 2025 in Denver, Colorado. Ian, Taz, Excalibur on commentary, 4 hours. Next week, we got Summer Blockbuster, another 4 hours in the Mission Ballroom, June 4th, 2025. I really enjoyed the show. 4 hours, hey, if you can sit through SmackDown, just add an extra hour. But I was surprised we were done with all our stuff that was announced that we were supposed to get hyped for by the end of Dynamite. Well, you know what I mean, the runtime. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. But overall, I give the show a solid 4 out of 5. Match of the night is Kenny versus Dorada versus Claudio versus Brody. You talk about a fight. Moment of the night. Boom, 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 boom. I'm trying to find a moment. Okada and Kenny. God, dumbass. Okada and Kenny face to face, and then we finally going to get that match. Very excited. So 4 out of 5. Fyter Fest. Tell me what you thought of the show. Did you enjoy all 4 hours of AEW? And yeah. Good times. All right, y'all. Drop those comments below. Hit that like. Hit that subscribe. Share with your grandma. Share with the bum down at Walmart. Share with everybody. Just share with everybody. Like and subscribe, man. Hit that like. Hit that subscribe, all right? And remember that the New World Podcast is for
John
life,
Moxley has
brother.
said on this show he hates what AEW has become. I've got a fantastic idea, John. Piss off then.